This is the lobby of the Paramount Theater. Really fabulous, magnificent. Everything's, of course, real old in here, but they have refurbished everything to make it look like it was when they originally made it. Look at the ceiling right here. I can imagine if I could have something like that in my home. The stairs that you're looking at is leading up to the mezzanine, and that's an upper level viewing an auditorium. So, and there is George Levette, the tour guide.
Does the smell of the popcorn?
Yes, it does, and it helps. And so when
Here's the two artists coming out.
We show films frequently, and we did Titanic this last week, which is somewhat of a newer movie. So we had a lot of people, maybe 20% hadn't been here before, which is a great problem to have. But the reason we know it's 20% is because they walk in and go, "Where's the popcorn?" They smell it, they just don't know where it is. Well, that would be an option, but it would take away time. We do this. This is an interesting point that you bring up. There's that painting that you saw during the documentary from Spencer Tracy. Right below there is a couch. During big events when we know we're going to have over 500 people, this is something we started about a year and a half ago. We moved that couch and we have an express concession stand up there. And we do bring up Cokes and popcorn. And that way just to alleviate some of the line downstairs and help, because if you've got 1,200 people, that's a lot of people in line for concessions. Okay, so we're back up here. You all saw the Spencer Tracy painting. If you get up close, you'll notice a couple of things. Number one, you'll notice that it's not on canvas. It's just two pieces of wood that have been butted together. Why? Because it's just a movie prop. It doesn't need to look that good. It just needs to look okay. But they really did a good job with it. But you get up there, you see it's Spencer Tracy. That was touched up by artist Clint Hamilton, who recently had an exhibit at the Center for Contemporary Arts. So it was a local artist who's renowned that fixed it and been sitting in a shed. So let me tell you the story of that real quick before we go. The Interstate Theater Company who owned this theater in the 1950s, right? They owned the theater somewhere around that time. They raided the theater. They owned it, so I guess technically it wasn't a raid, but that's what we call it. So they owned this theater. They owned the ones in Dallas and Houston, San Antonio, some of the bigger cities around. Well, what happened in the 50s and 60s? People started going to multiplexes out of town, right? They went to the mall that was in the suburbs. Downtown started to suffer. These movie theaters, and they owned a bunch of them, started to suffer. So they showed up with an 18-wheeler and a bunch of men, and they came in and they took everything that was in the theater, everything of value. And this thing was loaded. We've seen the pictures. There was art everywhere. You see these gold plugs above the chairs. Well, that was because art was hanging there. And we've replaced some of that art over the course of time, but we never got it back except that one piece right there. You see the one piece, and of course they built it to be there. You see that they built a little portico for it to stand, and the light above it. That is the one piece that survived, was being cleaned at the time. That bronze sculpture survived. Everything else has since been replaced as a fill-in for what used to be here. So it was art and it was antiques, a lot of beautiful antiques in here as well. Well, one of the gentlemen who was on that truck that raided the place heard about the restoration going on in Abilene, Texas, and he called right before it reopened, and he said, "I work for the Interstate Theater Company, and we have a storage warehouse here in Dallas. If you guys get here in the next 4 or 5 hours, I'll give you the Spencer Tracy prop." So they literally got in the car and drove up there, and he loaded it up into the back of the car, the pickup that they had, and brought it right back up here. And it had been sitting in a warehouse forever, so artist Clint Hamilton kind of cleaned it up, and then they lit it and put it up there. I love the circular nature of that it was the same people that raided the place that kind of gave it back some of its charm. Okay, so that is it for what I'm going to take you through. You are welcome to go upstairs. I have a couple of quick things to point out. Number one, if you go upstairs and check out the balcony, it's pretty cool. Secondly, be careful. It's not as light as you would expect. That's the way it is with old theaters, so watch your step. There's handrails everywhere. The second thing is, notice the ends of the chair, the ends of the aisles, what they did with the chairs. They're just gorgeous. That's the originals were put in 1930. They've been recovered many times over the years, but those are the original chairs upstairs. And the other thing that I'm trying to think, was there anything else I was going to say? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. Did we do it? 28 minutes. We said 30. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Thank you. So feel free to walk around and take a look yourself. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The last thing I was going to say is this. Everybody and their dog goes up these stairs and they take a left, right? How many people have gone to the balcony? That's what you do. You know you can go right. Nobody does. Do you know why the stairways are up there on the right? Anybody have a guess? That would be a way to get there. You can get to the balcony from the segregation. You went up, you went off to the right. That area was cordoned off. So the highest up in the balcony, that area was if you weren't white. That was the segregation area, and you know, that was part of our history as well. And it's kind of shocking to know, but it's still a part of our history. The other thing that's interesting is the chair that this gentleman right here is sitting in. Those are from 1850. They're bishop's chairs, so they belonged at some point or another to a Catholic church. They've been recovered many, many times, and it's totally okay to sit in them. But they're from 1850. And Dr. Morris Baker, does anybody know him? A longtime professor here in town. Dr. Morris Baker rocks. The first African-American to graduate from McMurray University, went on to become a professor. And he saw these chairs not long after it opened, and he said, oh, I remember those. Those were in Woodson, the African-American school in town. And when you got in trouble, you were sent to the principal's office, and you sat in the red chairs. So keep that in mind. At least that's what Dr. Baker said. Thank you guys so much again. We appreciate it. Feel free to look around the back. That's just a there's a lot of places. Remember the Gooch family? Sausages? They're kind of they said it's either about
George Levesque gives one hell of a good tour. He just ended his tour, and his guided tour, should I say, and he did a really good job. And he mentioned that the chairs that I'm sitting in used to belong to Woodson High School. Can't believe it. I'm sitting in these chairs that's in the Paramount Theater that used to belong to Woodson Segregated High School. These chairs were there for when kids got in trouble. They would send them to sit in these chairs, as whether it was in the principal's office or wherever it might have been. But this was kind of like a punishment type of thing. But the chairs are awesome. I'm sitting in it right now, so I'm going to get up and view this chair.
No, it's not. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you both for coming. Here's a list of movies if you want to take one. Unless you don't have it. Thanks for coming.